Beth just said goodbye to her polka dot heels.
Goodbye?
She sold them on Mercari to Shelley, who gladly said
hello.
Just after she said goodbye to a set of bright orange cookware.
Really, Mom? Citrus?
They sold quickly on Mercari to Dan.
Whoa, these are groovy.
Then Dan sold his rollerblades on Mercari.
Bye-bye. I bike now.
Which took us back to where we started with Beth, who said,
Hello, rollerblades. Whee!
Buy and sell almost anything from home with Mercari, your marketplace. Find it on the app stores or Mercari.com.
Everybody's laughing and crying and laughing. And I'm like, this motherfucker is really crazy.
It's crazy. That's why he's on the Cray.
That's why he's doing that.
All right, we are back with another episode of the Cray, and we are joined by our lovely guests, undefeated MMA future champ AJ McKee, and his father Antonio Sr. Welcome to the team, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Happy to be here.
Lovely guests.
I love how you guys put them on my side of the table. Like, just shit get out of pocket. I'm gonna get fucked up first. You know what I mean? So y'all safe.
You're the safest on that side of the table.
I think these guys can get across the table pretty quick.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think the table could go over pretty fast.
Really quick.
So we got, actually, it's funny, by the time this episode airs, AJ will be on the verge of winning the Bellator featherweight title. Got a big fight coming up. Is it in LA or Anaheim? I know it's in Southern California.
It's at the Forum, Inglewood.
It's at the Forum. There we go. It's here in LA.
That is a sick record right now, win streak, man. You're on
crazy.
an 18-fight win streak.
17. It'll be 18 after that.
It'll be 18 in a few weeks.
It's pretty bananas, man. There's only a couple guys in Bellator with that. One of them's now in the UFC, Chandler.
Yeah.
AJ's the one guy. I mean, I love Bellator. I watched every event of Bellator. You're not much of a Bellator guy, but I watched
like
every
the guy
single
Scott
Bellator
Coker, though,
event.
man. I had dinner with him one time.
But AJ's the one guy that, from the beginning, I'm like, yo, AJ is gonna be a champ in the UFC. I'm like, he's gonna smoke everybody in Bellator, and then he's gonna make the transition. He's gonna smoke everyone in UFC. He's just got it, man. I'm telling you. I've been watching him for years.
So was that? I mean, I got so many questions for you guys,
Yeah.
especially since you're father and son, you know, and obviously you're involved in his career. You're coaching him, right?
Right,
So,
right.
So is that part of the end game when you start? Are people thinking, I'm going to get to the top tier of Bellator and then I'm going to jump to the UFC? Is that part of the plan, or for some fighters, is Bellator just enough?
You know, I separated the emotional part of it, and I looked at it as he's a corporation.
Right.
And so what's best for the company is what we'll do. Unfortunately, you know, being a fighter and coming from it, I seen all the ins and outs, the goods and the bads with it. And so immediately when he decided he wanted to fight, I didn't want him to fight. I told him, no, go become a cop or go to the military, because he's real good with guns. He likes speed. He likes fast life, nice stuff. So that's how he got the name Mercenary. But I was like, look, but his mentality and the way I was raised, my mentality and my mom and dad, his mom and dad, it's hot blood, man, Lebanese and Russian and black.
Right.
So I'm like, you know what? You need to do something where you're kind of running your own show, because you don't take a lot of constructive criticism well. You know what I mean?
True Aries.
I'll keep it clean. But so I saw that, like, no, you're going to have to do something else. And he says, I want to fight.
Right.
But at that time, when we were fighting Kimbo Slice,
Wait, how old is he when he says that?
He was, when he first said it, he was like 9. But he was fighting, like, at 4 or 5 years old. I had him in a Nazarene Christian school. They're calling me. He's fighting. He's biting. But that's what he grew up seeing.
I told you before we started on.
Yeah. And I'm a parent. You know, part of our job is to encourage our kids to be the best. At what age did you look at him and you kind of stepped out of yourself as a dad and was like, oh shit, he got something?
I would say probably 3. Now I got another 3-year-old that's even way out than him. But at 3,
he's doing
his will and his was different. And I'm like, okay, we're gonna see how far this goes.
Right.
And I would do stuff, and then it got to a point where, you know, we got to learn how to control our anger. But I'm getting phone calls. He can't be here. And I'm paying $500 a month for a Nazarene school. I'm out here doing all kinds of wrong things.
I've had the same exact experience with my 5-year-old 2 months ago. Super bougie. He knows where my kid went. Super bougie preschool.
Right.
It took me, because I share custody.
Okay.
But I live a half hour from the school. Half hour to the school to bring my kid to school, get the hug, bye daddy, love you. Send him into school. I drive home to my house a half hour away. Phone rings. We're going to send Carlo home for a reset. He hit somebody.
Okay.
I gotta get back in the car.
Right.
Half hour back to the school. Pick him up. He comes running out like he thinks I'm surprising him to take him to fucking Magic Mountain.
So let me help you
He
with
comes
that.
out. He's like, "Daddy!" And I'm like, "Don't daddy me,
Right.
bro.
No,
You
no.
fucked up my
Let's
whole
fix
day."
this because this
I
is
wanna
what I
come
have to
and
do.
get you.
Yeah.
Let's fix this. Let's take you and be him, and you're watching yourself be him. Because he came from you and the mom, so
Right.
that's there. That fight blood is there. So with
Yeah, for sure.
situation,
For sure.
that's when I realized, okay, we got one or two options. He's fighting in Compton. They're doing the Kimbo Slice stuff. I'm not knowing black eyes coming on.
Right.
Oh! I was messed up.
Knuckle shit.
I was-
we were in the
I was-
backyard fighting.
Backyard
for sure.
fight, yeah.
You know, and I'm like, where'd you get this money? Wait, hold on, what's going on? So I started realizing that he was going in a different direction.
How much money?
I don't. It was like $10, but he shouldn't have had $10.
No, I was just
Ice
trying to
cream
think if it's a
truck
good
money.
investment for my kids or not.
Ice cream truck.
I was just thinking about
Build a
selfish
ring in the backyard.
for my son.
But you know,
yeah.
shit really changes when you get a phone call from the homies. Hey,
Yeah.
cuz, what's up? Hey, cuz, you know your son, he knocked out one of the homies. What? My son don't gangbang.
Yeah.
Well, they was your son, and we got it all on camera. And I'm like, what? He knocked out who? Oh shit! Let me go deal with this. And that's when I told him he was at Poly. I had the same
Right.
problem. So fighting is in his blood because my dad was a 2-time Golden Glove champ. He liked to fight. I fought all day. In fact, held Pac out one night. But I'm just saying, I love to fight. I didn't give a shit where it was
Right.
coming from. He was the same
It's
way.
the lineage. But when you were doing that, how much of that, because obviously you're so much younger than the Kimbo, and even Masvidal, when they were doing it down with the Icy Mike guys in Florida, were you inspired by that, what you're seeing on YouTube?
Oh yeah, man. I used
Right. So for you, it wasn't even
Kimbo,
about
yeah.
was it about the money or was it about like?
No, I always wanted to fight, and then like having my dad's career go the way it went, like I always wanted him, at least it started as him getting the respect and the recognition he
Right.
kind of deserved, being 8 years undefeated, so forth. So when it became like, all right, well, like I dropped out of college, was like, all right, college isn't it for me, and then went back to school for college for cooking. And I was like, still, this just isn't it. So I won a state title and was like, all right, let's fight. You know what I
Right.
mean? I'd already done amateur kind of in and out. I mean, we were fighting before
Wait a
amateur.
minute, you was going to school for cooking?
Yeah, I like to
You
cook.
was like, I
like to
fuck
cook,
this.
too.
You just throw a
That's
plate
cool,
up against
yeah.
the wall and just punch a hole through the wall or something. Like, what the
I just
fuck?
didn't like
Yeah,
it.
it's awesome, man. It's awesome.
I figured it's
Yeah.
like it's the structure is what they want you to get. You
Right.
know what I mean? That's
Right.
the gist and the base of school.
Right.
Is structure, being
Yeah.
able to do things according on
Yeah, I
time.
didn't understand that when I was young, and I think that's the big mistake that I made was I didn't understand that. Like I just kept going, oh, it's all shit I don't need. It's all because I was a terrible student. I was like a fucking D. I got out of high school with like a D minus, man. They were gonna leave me back, but they were so fucking sick of me. They just wanted me out.
Barely crossed the
Yeah,
line.
they were just like, just get rid of this guy. But the reality is like when I look back on it, and with the wisdom I try to impart on my son now is that it's the lessons, like you're saying, in that structure, right? In the regimentation, in discipline, work ethic, and all these important things that you get from it,
I just think you were a genius. Like me, I consider myself
Yeah.
a genius.
I
And the-
will say that,
the
but it's not
system
true. But yeah.
doesn't
Yeah.
train geniuses. It trains
Right.
robots to
Well,
be
that's true
systematic.
too.
That's
That's
true.
true.
Systematic,
That is-
you know what I mean?
Sure.
I'm not out of
that
the
is true,
box.
but I do.
Yeah.
I'm not like crazy about. Like I'm not like I would never want to take my child either, and I see like what a great dad you are. I'd never want to take my kid and just try to put him in that box either, and tell him he's got to conform. Maybe in certain areas, but,
Right.
But in general, I think 100% you got to support. And I think it's interesting that like you're like, all right, he's got all this fire, military, police
Yeah.
academy,
Yeah.
fighting.
Where we going to channel that energy?
He helped
Yeah.
me because when I was coming up, I was ready to die. I was like, you know what? I don't have no mom, no dad.
Right.
I'm just like, I don't care. I'm in the streets. I'm in every hood. Just
And this is in LA? Are you in LA?
I was from Watts, Compton,
Okay.
Long Beach.
Right.
Oh, wow.
I mean, we know a lot of the same people, but
Yeah.
Right.
I was always a quiet one. I didn't talk back then. I just
Right.
I handled my business, right? And then, he would say some of the craziest stuff to me, like, Daddy, if you die, can I die with you? He didn't know I was contemplating. I'm going out like this.
Yeah.
I was with Easy now.
Yeah, yeah,
so
yeah.
I know a lot of the stuff I heard y'all talking about,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Yo, it changes your whole perspective.
I was ready to just go. I didn't have no mom, no
Yeah.
dad, and then his mother just kind of like dropped him off like, here, F you and the baby, and I'm like, whoa, hold on, like, and then he would say stuff like, I love you, Daddy. Don't go tonight. And I'm like, what? And I would try to sneak and put him to sleep and sneak out of the house, go do what I got to do. And he would be standing at the stairs doing like this, Daddy, Daddy, Daddy. And I was like, oh, God, I got to go back to
Bro,
the next day.
Fucking cry,
Wow.
The next
I
day.
do some single dad shit. You know, I'm not, not full time. Like, I'm a 30% dad, time, but I'm 100% present.
Well, I was
30%
100%
of that time. But, like, that's that's deep shit, though.
It was rough, man. I get goosebumps thinking about
But it did change your life. It changed the way you saw the world.
He was something different because he would tell me don't go. I'm like, fuck, okay, I'm gonna put him to sleep and sneak out. The next day, all of them made the news. The one dude that didn't die got all the murders. I was like, oh my God, this was my crew.
Yo, you saved Dad's life, man.
Not once.
You know why? 'Cause
3 times.
Crazy.
But maybe it's like me and the way I look at it. Like, little kids are the closest thing to like heaven, because in a weird way, if you believe in a cycle of life, and I'm not a religious guy, they just fucking came from there. Their intuition is bananas. Like, it's just off the chain. My kid says, "Showtime, where the fuck do you learn?"
No.
In addition to learning yoga at school and putting me through yoga, fucking.
No, see, you're so true. But it's so true because my daughter, I just had a second daughter 3 weeks ago. And my wife didn't even know she was pregnant. We were sitting in the house watching TV. My daughter was laying back on her watching TV, and she just jumped up. She was like, "Mommy, you're pregnant. Nice. There's a baby in there."
No, that's crazy.
And my wife looked at me. I'm looking at her like, "What the fuck? What are you talking about?" And she was like, "I'm not pregnant." The next day she came, 3 tests, all positive. My daughter just jumped up and said, "Mommy, there's a baby in there. There's a baby in there." My daughter's 5.
Well, that's that spiritual connection, not religious.
That's right.
But spiritually, they have a different gift at that age to protect them. It's like a dog. He knows when something not right. He gets you wonder why he's always growling at your friend, but you didn't know your friend was sleeping with your wife and was setting you up to rob you or kill you.
Yeah.
They sense spiritual things. So
he broke that shit down quick. I was like, "Where my dogs at?" Shit.
But children are blessed, man.
They are, man, but they are blessing ultimately.
Right,
you know what I mean?
But in the scripture, even if you're not a Bible thumper, but in the scripture it says that that's a blessing. That is something that's beautiful given to you as a gift, right? So if it's a gift, that means it's good for you, but you have to also be consciously aware of the gift. A lot of us are so high, or so drunk, or so peeled up, we don't see the gift, but I don't drink or smoke. Right. So when he would tell me stuff, I would take heed. In the last situation that happened, I said, look, I was finna take him with me. I had my bulletproof vest on. And this was my last trip to do what I was going to do.
You got a bulletproof vest and we're thinking about taking it.
Well, no, I was just weird. Like,
he's a young dad.
He's a young dad. That's what young dads do.
No, but you know, I dealt with dirty people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm lucky to be alive. And y'all will hear about that documentary later. But I said, something just said, leave him. And I said, this is my last run. If this is not what I'm supposed to do, give me a sign. I didn't sell drugs. Actually, okay. Anyway, I was doing doing this thing, and the car flipped over. I woke up in the hospital, didn't know where I was. Large cash on me, but no one knew because I had these funny pockets. And at that point, I said, okay, I'm dedicating everything to him. And I started really paying attention. And then he wrote a check. I think he was like 10, 11. I've always been a businessman.
Right.
You know, legit. After I lost everything, I had to go do what I had to do.
Right.
So he wrote a check for $1 million because I used to always do banking, do my own accounting.
Spelled wrong, of course.
And so he wrote a check for $1 million. He said, Dad, no, I think I was telling him something, and I said, you can write. I said, don't write a check your ass can't cash or something like that. But it was something weird.
Right.
And so he said one day, he says, Dad, I'm going to make $1 million. I was like, well, write yourself a check and we'll put it in an envelope. I still have it to this day.
That was that Jim Carrey shit. He did that too.
He
now
wrote
that
it.
I see it's working for everybody, I'm actually
He wrote it down.
He wrote it down.
Isn't if I'm not mistaken, the winner of the Grand Prix gets $1 million, right?
That's what's so crazy.
Yeah.
That's why we're
That's
like, look,
insane.
man, this is really freaky.
I just thought it right now. I was like, wait a minute. That's
that he
crazy.
could do that at that age. Of course, he didn't spell it right, but
Right.
But just
the power in the spiritual side of what we're all capable of has been blocked by a lot of people who know how intelligent we really are, but they don't want us to access that part of the brain. That's why it's systematically done like this, like this, like this. Mm-hmm. But yet if you teach your kid calculus and geography and science right now, he gets it right now. Mm-hmm. So why are you holding him back? Right. Those are the problem kids that aren't making it in school.
Bro.
Yeah.
They're sponges at a young age.
So slow him down. He's too smart.
Everything.
Oh, he's ADD. Put him on Adderall.
Right.
Yeah.
No, ain't nothing wrong with him.
Yeah, of course.
He's a genius.
He's advanced.
And you don't have a program for genius.
He's advanced.
Right.
Exactly.
No, it's crazy.
Yo, you're right, man.
It's crazy you can't restrict your kids because I can't swim worth shit, My wife can swim. My daughter hasn't taken swimming lessons yet. She's always on iPad or whatever. And so my brother-in-law was in town, and my kid wanted to go in the pool, got the little floaties on and the whole shit. We looked up. My daughter swam from one end to the other end of the pool. I get emotional talking about it. I got a bubble in my throat because it was so magical.
Right.
And a part of me wanted to start screaming and yelling, get my kid, get my kid. Dude, she went from one end to the other end, came all the way back and looked at me and said, Daddy, are you proud of me? Man, I grabbed in
It's
the
amazing.
tears.
Yeah, it's
Amazing.
all
That's
achievements
cool.
are, you know.
Yeah, it's just crazy, but it's just that allowing yourself to see it and encourage it and push
Right.
it.
Let
You know
him
what I mean?
grow, right.
You know what I mean? You saw that in your son,
Right.
and you pushed it, and he pulled you back from negative
Right,
shit,
right.
and pushed you towards some positive shit that is gonna just change his life.
Well, I knew
So
he
the
didn't
whole
have
thing-
anybody.
But
you know?
so is he? I'm
At that
assuming he's your only son, right? Well, I know
No,
you have another
no,
one
no,
now.
I
You have
was
another
three.
one.
I
You got
got
three of
5, 6
Okay,
kids,
but
adopted
at the
3.
time,
Okay.
AJ's mom.
AJ was the firstborn, right?
Okay.
That I
Got
knew
it.
of. But I had another
Right.
son, real similar, around
Right.
the same time. But
But he's not living with you. When
No.
AJ came to live
he was
with
all
you,
by
you
himself.
had no other kids
No,
living with you.
I was straight.
So, and you're I'm assuming again, like around 20-ish, early
I was 25 when he was
Right,
born.
so 25, right? And you're now doing single dad duties.
At that time, it was different.
And how are you learning that? How are you? Because I mean, I know I went through it. You know, when I split up with my son's mother, my
Yeah.
son was 2. I had never changed diapers. I'm like, no, daddy's going to work. Mommy could change diapers.
Yeah.
Then we split up, and then it's like daddy could go to work and then come home and change diapers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well-
on the days I had them. And I mean, I'm tight with my kid's mother.
Right.
I love her. So I'm not saying this with any disrespect whatsoever. You know, it's just there is, you know, a learning kind of curve, right? There is some kind of process. How did you figure it all out?
Well, I was fortunate because when I was growing up, I was placed in a boys' home. And
Right.
then from the boys' home, I went into like a foster care program. So I
Right.
got a chance to live with very wealthy people, and I
Right.
started processing. They knew I was smart, but they just didn't know in what area.
Right.
So I got a chance to live, and I started questioning this life versus when I got out of the program, I'm now living this life. And I would always wonder why things are like this over here and why is it like this over here. And so it took a couple of years for me to transform over. So I grew up seeing and learning,
Right.
but when it was time to do it, came natural because
Right.
I wanted to make the change. You know what I mean? At that
Right,
point,
right.
but I'm like, well, what do I do? How do I do? How do I get out of the hood? How do I get out of here? And then I became successful in the hood, and now I'm the target in the hood. So you know, then all these other things influenced me, but he kept me right, man. He was saying stuff that there is no way. I'm telling you, there's no way he knew what he was saying, but yet spiritually
God.
he was talking to me because I would look at him like, and I'd ask him like, who told you to tell me that? And he'd be
Right.
like, the kid again. I'm like, nah.
Yeah.
But you know, I got it real quick. You know, it was definitely like I said. Now, had you took your situation with your daughter and be like, "Don't you get in that pool," it would have been a whole different thing.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
We put the fear into our
Right,
children.
Exactly.
Right.
With
Kids are
him,
fearless. Yeah.
his style, that's completely my style. I went undefeated
Yeah.
8 years. You know, me and Dana don't get along, but whatever.
Right.
He developed his own style. I never told him what to do or how to do it. I just let him do it. He saw, I trained Randy Couture, Tito T. I'm training all these guys. He was watching there the whole time. He learned more by watching than me trying to teach him. So I
Right.
just let him watch. And then I started seeing him do stuff, and I'm like, this is crazy. But like, look, Rampage said, AJ McKee will be your revenge in the world of MMA. And you know what's funny? When he's out there fighting, I look in his eyes, and it's not him.
Shit, I'm scared of that person.
It's not him.
I ain't gonna lie.
No. I
look
am
in
a
my
smart
eyes,
cat.
I look at it too.
Yeah.
That is
He-
not me in
he
that
mur-
movie.
Yeah, he transforms. It's very
He
crazy.
forms into something
Yeah.
else.
And that's the crazy part.
Yeah, that is crazy part. Where is that? It's like
My mind just goes blank. That's the only time my mind is honestly calm and just at ease. Like other than that, until I hear that bell, my mind is going.
But that kind of
nuts.
laser
That's crazy.
focus,
Yeah.
non-emotional, kind of like intent. That's not even a question, man. That was just like a statement.
That was a
You know what I
statement.
mean? That is kind of what happens. It shuts off. So you're not getting the crazy adrenaline.
Oh no, you are. But it's
you know how to
managing that.
manage
Right,
it.
Exactly.
Right.
It's being able
So
to
for you,
manage
it's
that.
like, you know, and I mean,
As
again,
soon
I'm
as
not
the
a fighter,
bell-
but I'll train a little bit. But I know, like, you know, I'm always like rolling around in jits. I'm like just trying to work on breathing, right, and try to slow everything down. But for you, that's just an innate thing to just...
Yeah, it's like an immediate. My thing is, as soon as I get in there, I'm analyzing everything.
Right.
I'm watching your posture. I'm watching your eye movement. I'm watching
Right.
how you're moving.
Fight IQ.
What you're,
right.
not even just fight IQ, like just the human body. Like we're creatures of habits.
Right.
So I'm trying to analyze everything you're doing, whether it's bouncing forward and back,
Right.
it's shoulder rotation, and I kind of do it without even knowing I'm doing it. You know what I mean? So while I'm analyzing you, I'm putting together my own thoughts of like, okay, this attack, that attack. So like the first round, when I knocked out Georgie Kakari in 8 seconds, I initially knew he was nervous
Right.
going into the fight because he came out southpaw. So you're doing something different. So you're trying something different to throw
Because you're not
off.
confident.
Right.
Trying to throw me off.
Right.
So I came out to throw a jab to see what he did. When I threw the jab, he switched back to what he knew. So I got him comfortable by stepping back to allow him to come forward again. Now that I got you to come forward, I'm going to bait you with the exact same thing that you initially jumped for, and I'm going to come over the top. But I read all of that in less than...
Did all that in 8
But that,
seconds.
but that's
All of that
but
in
It
that's
eight
took
what-
seconds.
him longer
Right.
to explain it.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like the Terminator. It's like,
Yeah,
But your
so-
brain was
man,
moving
it's-
like this.
But that's what I mean
Right.
by fight IQ, because a lot of guys don't have that. They don't have that ability to just read the situation like that.
Hell
You know what I mean?
no.
They might have like things that
That's
they,
my
you know.
gift.
You win this title, right? Let's say you
Fuck.
go and you win the title, which you're on track to do. It's totally feasible. Obviously, we'll be rooting for you. You know what I mean? But
We'll be there
You
rooting
do
for you.
right. Yeah. So you win the title. What happens? Do you go into the conversations with Dana, who you obviously have a relationship with, right?
Yeah, we didn't get along for, I mean, you got to look.
Yeah, but
there's
he's
a lot
business.
going on.
He's money. You know what I mean?
There's a
If
lot
he
going
sees
on with
money, yeah.
contracts.
Right.
Yeah.
And so there's 5 different contracts. Which contract do we get? That was one of the things that I was upset about when he came in.
Right.
My son comes in on a fight deal at $1,500 to show and $1,500 to win. 3-fight deal. Now, I'm a celebrity fighter. Whether you like my style or not doesn't matter.
Right.
No one did what I had done at that time.
Right.
Now here he comes in with $1,500. That's a slap in my face, right? Or Gracie's son comes in. The reason I know is because I've trained these guys.
Right.
Right.
He comes in at $10,000 to show,
Right.
$10,000 to
Yeah,
win.
right.
Yeah.
Randy Couture's son comes in at $10,000, $20,000. What?
Right.
He had to fight every inch of the way.
Yep.
So this is where he puts his energy. For me, that's the only thing that makes me emotional. I can cry because I was disgusted by it, but I was humbled too because I had to play the game, and that's the problem. I didn't know how to play the game, and I wasn't playing the game.
Right.
The truth is the truth. What's right is right. What's wrong is wrong. And I know what's going on over there because I've
But there,
trained
is
them.
but is there a way to
Yes,
repair
that's
that
why he has
relationship?
management CAA.
Right.
Because at that point now, I said, okay, they're not going to give me $1 million or let me negotiate it.
Right.
What Afro-American can go and negotiate $1 million deal for his son?
Right.
Right.
I take the value away from him now. So as a father and as a proud man, I said, you know what, son? When you get to this point, I'm going to have to release these responsibilities. But I still work with the management company because
Right.
they work for you. You do not work
Right,
for them.
right.
Yeah, yeah.
A lot of fighters don't understand the game, right?
Right.
But he's different. He's not like everybody. I've been trying to say this for so long. And now here we are, undefeated, 17 fights in, getting ready to fight for the belt and $1 million. Now everybody wants to come.
Right.
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 We did all our talking in the beginning when I told you, I said, this kid is different. It's not my son. At the time, Rampage was the champ and Manny News was the champ, and I was training both of them. Like, I have a legacy of high-profile fighters that I train, but I was like, where's the respect when my son is here now?
Right.
And I've had meetings with these people. Look, this isn't Rampage. This is my son. What is it that you want? Because I know that you're still looking at my career going, is he anything like you? No, he's not. He's completely well-dressed. He's articulate. He's good-looking. He's smart. He can articulate. He knows the fight game. What is it that you want? We want excitement. Immediately, we went to training. Nothing but flash moves based on
12
his
finishes out of
athletic
17.
ability. His athletic ability. Not that he's cocky, not that he's arrogant, because that's sometimes misconstrued among us who are out here doing all that.
Yeah.
No, that's natural athletic
It's athletic ability.
athleticism.
Right.
He's
skill.
an athlete. So what I did is I watched him for a while, about a year. It took me about a year and a half to watch him. okay, he's real long and wiry. Okay, we're gonna do a lot of spinning stuff. And now he's knocking people out with stuff. You don't even see the knockouts. You thought it was the uppercut, but it really was the short elbow.
Right.
And he did this, and then he knocked him out.
Right.
You gotta break it down.
You scared the shit out of me just now when your elbow just went up and down my face. I'm gonna faint.
No.
But if the invitation comes and the money's
It will.
right.
Oh,
He's a company.
For sure
What's
it'll
best
come.
for the corporation?
exactly.
Again, I take
There's
my
already
emotions
there's
out.
already rumblings
All right, so
about
cool.
him.
You'll be
transitioning.
unemotional. CAA will deal with it. But it
Right.
seems like at every level, and
want
I'm
the
definitely
old
not
belt,
shitting
too,
on the
though.
UFC
I like the
because
old
I'm a
belt so much
huge
more, bro. It's-
I am a huge
Way better.
consumer
Yeah.
of that
That's good.
product. You know what I
Right.
mean? And it's not because I want to give my money to the UFC. I want to,
Where
I
the
wanna
best
watch
fighters come from, though?
right?
Where the best fighters come from? Scott Coker delivers the
Hey,
best
man,
fighters.
best-
in the
that's
world.
true.
listen,
That is true.
like I said, I met Scott Coker. My favorite guys came out of Strikeforce. You know what I mean? Diaz brothers.
All
Nick
of the
particularly,
champs
not Nate, but
that are in
Nick,
the
yeah.
UFC, they came from Scott Coker.
Right.
Yeah.
The problem is the model is a little different, right? I mean, we'll talk off the tape about that.
Right.
I'll break it down and explain it to you, but it's a business model, and
Right.
it has
Right.
to be respected
Right.
because
course.
it was purchased for $2 million and sold for $4 billion.
Right.
So if you have that type of insight, then you don't want anybody
Well,
else.
they
to there.
definitely
course.
they're tight, man.
But
You
what-
know
what-
I mean?
what-
They run a tight ship. Look at the stuff with Francis that's going on right over the last week.
Smart.
Yeah.
Smart. Like, look, most sports pay 80% to the athletes.
Oh, I know.
The UFC pays less than 20%.
Yeah, it's 12 or 13%.
Oh, that's
Bro, it's
crazy.
ridiculous.
So when you talk about him going into knee surgery, the concussions, you guys don't see the stuff
Well, that was
after
going
the
to be
fight.
my next question about like insurances and unions and what do you think about
That's
the
why I
future
caught-
MMA fighters
Sign me
and
up.
being unionized?
That's why I caught shit.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
one, I spoke against
can't
it.
wait for that to
I
happen,
filed
by
a
the way.
lawsuit, an antitrust lawsuit against them based on some of the things that were going on in the contracts, owning ancillary rights and imaging of somebody for life, and you can't
Right.
fight. What we need is, I think we should call it the Bruce Lee Act and unify belts. That way, if the UFC don't want to pay AJ $1 million and Strikeforce does, let him fight out of his contract to make a living.
Right.
Right, because these are promotions.
Right.
Exactly.
You
yeah.
can't do that
Right,
with
they're their
certain
own leagues,
contracts.
right.
You can only fight, and then you can get cut at any time.
At any time,
And there is
exactly.
no compensation for unemployment, damage. No. You're just a piece of meat, entertaining, and then you're done.
How much of this, when you get, because you're pretty emotional about it, but in a good way, not like
passionate.
passionate
About
It's a
everything.
better
Yes.
way of saying it.
Very spiritual, too.
You know,
You know
yes.
what I mean?
But that passion, obviously, you had your own experience. But how much more evolved is that passion because it's your son? You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
all these fights that you were willing to engage in when you were a fighter, they now have greater value, I'm assuming, because it's your son.
They do, but when I believe he was like a gift for me, you know, because had he not been born, I probably would have been killed. I was getting death threats at a point,
Right.
you know, with this, because I was like, this is so long, man. If you guys knew how this fight game really goes, and I was
Right.
upset about it. And now he wants to do it. So I said, listen, son, show up to gym Monday. And I gave him the worst practice for a week. I made him throw up every day.
Hell
I
yeah.
didn't want him to do it. He hung in there. And I said, okay, but you're going to be different. You're going to be better, you're going to be undefeated, and you're going to be exciting.
Right.
And every one of his fights is a highlight reel. So why you don't know about him? He's got 17 fights,
Yeah.
12 finishes in the first round.
Right.
10.
Who does that in MMA?
Yeah.
Right.
So
Crazy.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't have to say much. I don't need to talk bad anymore. I'm just saying
Yeah.
why?
It speaks
Why
for
I'm
itself,
asking
right.
questions now. Why?
Right.
Why aren't we on poster? Why don't we have $1 million? Why
Right.
aren't we this? Why aren't we that? Why isn't he this and that? Son, just you focus on keep winning.
Right.
And I've learned a lot
Keep winning.
to show you the right way now.
Yeah.
Exactly. Right.
So don't get caught up in what I'm doing.
What do you mean, bro? I want you to manage my fucking career.
I know, right? I'm just like,
Get out of the
damn.
fight game,
I'm
bro.
like,
Shit, Hollywood, let me fix my life up.
My dad told me get hit, run.
It's
I-
amazing though that you were able to train your son, because I see that even, you know, with my kid. If I try to show him how to do anything, he's like, I know how to do it, but he'll listen to somebody else tell him how to do it.
So you let him do it his way. Let him do it his way, because you know what? He might teach you something. He's
Right.
taught me a lot.
That's true.
Right.
A lot of times we look at things from an adult perspective. We're not in the child's body.
Right.
But that child sees it as a child.
Right.
at another level that you've overlooked because of all the years you've been told this and told that.
Yeah, that's so
Let
true.
them be what
So
they
I
are.
should. We say this. I should let him. I should let him
do it.
light the.
And when it
fire
don't
pit.
work,
Because as soon as his ass
don't
gets
work.
burned, he can be like,
Dad, it burned.
Dad, I know how to fry the bacon. I could do it.
My daughter
let
has
him
to help
burn
me
it
in the
up.
ground.
Turn on the kitchen down.
No, when he burns it up, make him eat it.
Exactly.
I bet you don't cook it that way no more.
Exactly.
That's
right,
true.
So
That's
I've always
right.
told him that. I said, listen, son, take your emotions out of shit. Because he's an emotional guy. And I am
Right.
too, but I had to be hard to survive.
That's right.
Yeah, you said
Aries.
emotional. He says passion. I say emotional. You say passion.
No, he gets emotional like,
Where two questions? Where do you see the end game? Where? Not, I'm not talking about what promotion you fight in. What's beyond fighting for you? And then, well, let's get to part one first, because then I'll
Don't forget the second part now.
No,
Don't forget the second part
The
now.
second part is where would you like to see him go? But I'm curious to hear what he says about the
Okay.
future. Is it going back to cooking? Is it? Do you know?
Honestly, my biggest dream. So obviously, I'm a speed guy. I'd probably be like, I want to do a Baja 1000 one day.
Oh, sick.
Yeah,
Okay.
it'd be something dope.
Yeah.
And I got family members that have like off-roading trucks and built and so forth. So I love cars. If I couldn't fight, I would have obviously been in the military of some sort.
Right.
My first time picking up an AR, I was hitting stuff 800 yards out. So it's
Yeah,
like I got an
exactly,
eye.
bro.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean, I can shoot.
That's great.
So it's like either I was going to do something special forces
Right.
or, I mean,
You
anything.
go. You could
adrenaline.
be. You could be a merc, man.
Yeah.
You know.
It's his nickname.
Yeah, I know.
That's
how we came up with it.
That's what I said. You can do it.
And then fight-wise, I would say the end goal, I mean, I call myself the Floyd of MMA, so,
Right.
I mean, being undefeated is key to that. But, I mean, obviously, the money that's always the motive, you know what I mean?
Right.
That's how I secure my family's legacy, be able to make that generational wealth. And I feel like eventually change the sport, like we were just kind of touching base on. No one's really come in to be able to do that.
Right.
And I feel that there hasn't been an entertaining fighter with the skill set or just well-spoken enough to be able to do that for the fighters.
Right.
You got guys like Jake Paul who's doing it, but who's Jake Paul in the MMA world? Shut your mouth and collect your check.
Right.
Exactly.
That's how organizations see it. That's how
Right.
people with money see it. So for me, I mean, just stay focused, keep grinding. You know, it's inevitable. They can't stop me.
Sky's the limit.
Right.
Sky's the
Yeah,
limit.
well, it's Jake Paul's like a crossover, right? I mean, it's like
Jake
it's
Paul's
like
a
Dana said
gimmick.
too.
Let me tell you
I have a
something.
relationship with
The day, if Tyrone really knocks him out, you're never gonna hear Jake Paul's name again. What were
was
we saying?
Apollo Costa who said something about like the pay to Dana White, and he said you should have been a
Yes.
fucking YouTuber. Isn't that what he said?
Yeah, he said you should have been a
Right,
YouTuber
so
at the age of
Paolo,
12.
I know who I know a little bit was like, you know,
And he also said you shouldn't be asking for big money after your last
fight.
Which is true.
But I mean, I'm a Paulo Costa fan, man.
I like
But,
him
yeah.
too.
Yo, he's a monster, dude.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
he
is.
came to my academy one day and just fucking threw me around a little bit. I was like, holy fuck, man. Like, that's what manhandling is like.
Right?
This guy's fucking. I mean,
That's
I
what
didn't
getting
know the fuck
ragdolled
was going
is.
on, man.
There's
Bro,
no
who's the
way.
guy who from the Australian kid who won? We talked about it. The guy who won Abu Dhabi, fucking Jackson. What's his name? The kid who's like the best fucking gym, one of the best in the world, man.
I think
He
he's
put me in a
sponsored by
box.
Undefeated. I think.
Who is it?
I don't know. I think I know.
He
who
guy
you're
put me in the
talking
body triangle, bro, and like
his
squeezed
name?
the
Oh,
life out
Craig
of me.
Jones?
Craig Jones,
Craig
yeah.
Jones.
Dude, this guy is like my whole life just shot out of my mouth. I was it was like, but I love it, man. I mean, that's the fun of doing it.
I love
Yeah.
spitting up blood from the choke. It
But
was
my
great.
point is, but my point is, you know, it's interesting how like, you know, guys they build an audience, right? They build a fan base. And they're like, I'm just going to move into this new sector, try to carve a path for myself, a new revenue stream. Use that as the fuel to get me there. You'll be able to use your fuel from being, you know, in this part of the fight game and push it into another, whether you do some crossover and smack the shit out of some YouTubers, you know what I mean?
I'd love to.
Or you
fight.
fight the dudes from BTS.
Vitor
up with the show.
Belfort's coming out and fighting.
Yo, well,
getting into that.
Vitor is a little bit different. I don't know.
He's
That
a monster.
motherfucker bangs. Like Vitor punches hard, man.
Him and what?
And
Oscar
he's
De La Hoya,
fast.
right? That's going to be interesting.
Oh, is that who's for? That's what
who
it
he's
is.
I wonder what the
fighting.
odds are on
Him and
that.
Oscar De La Hoya are gonna lace him
I
up
saw
and-
Oscar 2 weeks ago. He looks good.
I wonder what
Yeah.
the odds are.
Yeah,
too.
Oscar
That's
He
what
looks
I'm
good.
curious
He's trimmed
about.
down,
How-
no
how
more
was he
gut.
now?
Yeah, I
He's
think if
clean.
Oscar's off like alcohol and
Yeah,
he's clean
no,
and
he's-
eating
yeah.
right.
He looks
I don't know.
good.
He was another guy when he came onto the scene. I was like, holy shit, this guy's like the Mike Tyson of fucking MMA, man. His hands were so fast.
Yes.
You know, he was just, it's, you know, that'll be interesting, man.
And he looks
You
good
know?
right now in his
But
training. man.
what
He
else
looks-
outside of fighting? Last question. What else would you want to do? Would you go back to? I know you said the shooting, this, that. But if it was nothing in this universe, would it be the cooking?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind owning a steakhouse.
All right,
I love
cool.
grilling up some nice steaks. I'd be that chef that grilled my own
You're
steaks
gonna
in
see-
my
You got
steakhouse.
3
You're gonna
customers
see
here, man.
Catch Steak, Boa. All these guys are gonna start reaching out, wanting a partnership deal, right?
I'm down.
Watch.
Put it out there.
Awesome, man. Well,
I could picture AJ crossing into Hollywood and doing.
Yeah, I
some,
was looking at I can see
doing
down.
movies
some.
and
He's
shit.
got the
You
whole
got that look.
package, man.
I was
yeah.
okay. Another
All the
thing, I was thinking
stuff.
about like
I
the
could see
Creed.
that too. Yeah, exactly.
Like
So
when
you
I saw the
whooping my
movie
ass
Creed,
now.
I was like, I could play that role. A little
yeah,
Creed role.
I could see that. Right. Put him.
fine.
Put him
He's
in
a
the
fight
Creed
machine,
trilogy.
man. People don't realize it until they get in there with him how he is. You can see it on TV, but you never see the same stuff.
He's multiple
He's
steps
always
ahead of
going
everyone.
up,
yeah.
up. The only thing stopping him is him, and we've always had this discussion. I say you're so good that you can do whatever you want to do. He'd had a fight with a broke fist. He wouldn't train. He'd make weight in 1 or 2 days. I mean, and go out here and finish top guys.
Yeah.
And then they give him
Effortlessly.
a guy that's nowhere near this caliber, and he goes 3 5-minute rounds. And I'm like, I told Scott Corker, I said he's bored, Scott.
Wait a minute, you fought
Anderson
with a broke
Silva.
fist?
Oh yeah.
Against Tubman
Fractured
Blair.
it
Did
right
you see
there.
that kid?
I saw that. Yeah.
That
Dropped
dude.
that knuckle.
I couldn't even fight
and
with
I
a paper
fractured
cut.
it. I
Like,
fractured it the week before the fight. That's the crazy part.
God.
And his poker face, man.
And
You
My
wouldn't
dad's
even
like,
know.
don't
You
fight,
wouldn't-
don't fight. I'm like, nah, we're fighting, bro.
Yeah.
I
Daddy
asked-
signed the dotted line. Like,
You hear what
we're
he
fighting.
said? He said, I said, son, do you want to fight? I think we should call it off. He said, no, don't call it off. Okay. And he proves me wrong again. Son, you want to take this fight? Got short notice, you're way overweight. No, Dad, I'm going to fight. Okay. I don't argue with
fighter.
it. As
He's a
long
fighter's
as
fighter.
he's doing what he's doing to win, but he's a smart kid, so he goes,
It's way out the options.
Yeah.
yeah, let's do it. Because he knows how good he is.
Right.
Right?
He's confident.
And that's the problem. If you listen
Right.
to Anderson Silva, what did he say? He says, I was bored out there. That's why I was
Right.
dropping my
Yeah,
hands.
exactly,
See, that's
yeah.
entertainment for him.
Right. Right.
I get it when you're that good, right? He's different.
Right.
So,
I've been saying it for a long time. I'm glad the world's starting to realize.
well, there's a guy getting ready to win $500,000 on a $500 bet in the very beginning of the tournament.
Really? Oh, nice. In the
If he
beginning
wins
of the
that
Grand
tournament,
Prix, okay.
that guy gets $500,000. I think he's gonna bless AJ. But I'm just saying, like, look, I kept telling everybody.
Yeah.
They're making the same thing I'm
the
making.
tournament's in what weight class?
One
Featherweight,
145.
145.
Yeah, because they used to do it like Cormier won.
They've
the
done
fucking
it. Bellator's really, and I
heavyweight,
think
yeah.
it's something UFC should start doing too. Bellator, yeah, they've done Grand Prix in almost every weight class.
Well, the Grand Prix was in Strikeforce, the one I was talking about.
Yeah,
It was
but
the
they've been
heavyweight
doing
one.
them in Bellator.
wish
And now
they bring back,
Fedor's
like,
in
pride
Bellator too.
rules.
He's fighting.
Yeah, he's
right?
getting ready
Do
to
a
fight.
whole
Yeah.
tournament in
I
one
fucking
night.
love
one
Fedor,
night,
man.
yeah.
No,
It's like
you
a
don't want to
dream.
do that.
Yeah.
I just don't like when
If you
Fedor gets
figure this
taxing. It's
Yeah.
taxing
You know what I
on the
mean?
body,
But if this
though.
tournament would have been in
Yeah.
one night, like, oh, boy.
No.
you would have cleaned up pretty quick.
I don't mind it.
Pitbull and I be
But-
ready.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't mind it, but for other safety of other fighters, man. You don't understand when all you got, you depleted all your savings account, all your money's gone. You got rent, you got your baby mama, yeah. Your kids need diaper. You gotta go fight. There's no, I'll just collect unemployment. No, you don't fight, you don't, and then you lose, your career goes into a different direction. You're only
Right.
good as your last fight.
Right.
I always tell him that. So now you look at it differently when you think, well, he's not as good as AJ, but he still needs to take care of his family.
Yeah.
And AJ will hurt him.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when he was out on that surgery, reality hit. I was like, thank you, God. I'm glad you showed up. I knew something was funny this fight. I
Right.
could feel it. And I
Right.
prayed that just, look, everything is okay.
The universe
but it was the
would-
best
yeah.
thing that could have happened
Right.
because he laid in the bed thinking about it. I said, what do you got now? You made how much money? Career could be over if this would have been a different type of an injury.
Oh, for
I
sure. Yeah.
definitely, that thought was pondering, boy.
No one saw him crying, laying in the bed. Dad! And he's laughing and crying and laughing. And I'm like, this motherfucker is really
It's
crazy.
crazy. That's why you saw me cray.
That's why he's doing
I go in the room. Motherfucker, you better pay my son. This is some bullshit. And he's walking through the house, dragging himself. And this is my son, man. This hurts. I don't give a shit who it is. It hurts to see it. But what he got from that was life-changing.
Right.
So I didn't wish nothing bad upon him, but I said, something's got to change.
Well, what is it like?
He was
like
headed down a one-way road. Partying, young. I
Yeah.
can get anything I want. I got a shitload of money.
That was
'cause
before that.
I got, I mean, this dude,
About 3 fights prior, you can say that.
he can
was on that
comfortably
hill.
do whatever he wants to do.
Right,
He's
right.
not stressed out. All the shit's
Right.
paid for.
On easy
Large amount of
street,
money in the
yeah.
bank. Dad's good. Everybody's good. He's wanting more and more. I'm like, damn, look here. I've been happy to have this. You know what I mean? You made that in one fight. What are we doing here, son?
Let's go.
So, I'm on him, but I let him do what he's got to do, and I respect him as a man, and I enjoy my friendship with him. And that's what a lot of fathers don't do. They try to do it and make it their way. No. I'm going to let him do it his way. I'm going to love him as a dad.
Right.
And see, we don't see that in our culture. You know what I mean? We don't see it.
We don't.
I saw it, and I said, I'm a smart dude. Why is this kid over at Berkeley and Harvard, and my ass is going right back to the hood? Because I rebelled from this type of lifestyle with this type of family. I didn't understand that, right? But they were like, look, pushing college. No, I don't want to go to school. I didn't want to go to school. I want to do what I want to do.
That was how I was too.
So get your ass out. Go stay in the streets. At 18, I was homeless. By the time I was 24, me and him was homeless. I said, man, here we go again. This sucks. Sleeping in a car with him, going to Jack in the Box, eating 99-cent chicken sandwiches. Remember back when they were 99 cents?
Yes.
We get 2 99-cent chicken sandwiches. I'd give him one. If he was still hungry, I'd let him have the other one. And I drink that water. I'm like, damn.
Hey, we used to go to the
This
park,
shit got to
play
stop.
catch. Life was great.
You know what he told me?
That was the happiest
I was
part.
giving him everything you want. I said, son, what do you remember from your childhood? He said, man, Dad, the best moments was when we didn't have any money. What do you mean we didn't have any money? He says, well, I remember we used to go to the park and play baseball and play football, and you used to play with me and spend quality time with me. And I looked at him and I said, okay, guess what? Never again I ain't buying you shit. You want to know why? Because you didn't remember anything I bought you. You know what I went through to get that damn big wheel? That remote control Cadillac? That remote control Cadillac in the hood?
No, that's so funny.
And now...
I got one last question for you. At the end of the day, when it's all said and done, what do you want your legacy to be?
Man, the best in the world, just inspiring people and to show them that anything can be possible, anything can be done. You know what I mean? Since high school, people were telling me, "Oh, you're gonna make a living fighting." Yeah, I'm gonna be the best in the world at it. And I'm gonna change the fight game just because I saw what he went through, and then just wanting better. You know what I mean? Wanting better because I watched, like you said, I watched him beat up anybody and everybody. But how come we don't got the big houses like Rampage? How come we don't got the big houses like Randy? We don't got the nice cars. How come you don't get the recognition for being undefeated 8-9 years? Like, for me, it was like, okay, now I'm going to make sure I cross my T's, dot my I's, and they're going to remember me regardless. So it's just being able to be remembered and respected for the work ethic and just trying to be the best that you can be and inspire others to be the best. You know what I mean? There's a lot of people just need that push, that motivational help. Just, you know what I mean? When you quit, hey, come on, get up, bro. Keep going.
Right. Yeah.
You know, it's not about how hard you fall, it's whether you get up or not.
That's true.
And I really learned that with my knee surgery because there was those moments, man, I had to crawl to the bathroom.
Right.
Because nobody was in the house to come help me get to the bathroom. And I'm like screaming my dad's name, Dad. Nobody's there. All right, well, you got to get up. You know what I mean? Figure it out. You got to go do what you got to do. And that's just a big key. You know what I mean? Sometimes through the ups and downs, like, I'm not supposed to spar 3 weeks after my surgery. But I needed to do what I love.
Right.
I needed that drive, that passion to come back. So I went to Metroflex, I grabbed the owner, my buddy Eddie, was like, stand here, don't move. We're going to spar. Yeah. And we sparred, and then boom, I move a little bit. Okay, I can move this way. And then I start hobbling around. Next thing you know, 6 months later, I'm ready to fight.
You're back on it.
Back on it. And then, okay, after that 6 months, now you got to fight in 3 months. Okay, well, cool. I'm already ready and prepared. You know what I mean? So now let's just continue to get better and better and better. So that's been about the last 2 years of my life. Has just been progress, get better, level up mentally, physically, emotionally.
Right.
Just keep plateauing to new levels, you know what I mean? And having him in my corner, he's always going to push me. I get a little hot-headed sometimes.
Yeah.
But
sometimes?
A lot of the time. But like you said, what's right? And that's what we try to stay focused on is what's right. And sometimes I don't have the best way of being verbal about it because like I am. I'm so passionate about it. And I already know, okay, if I'm getting the short end of the stick, what the fuck am I supposed to be happy about?
Right.
I already know I'm getting the short end.
Right.
So now let's put together the plan to make it go long.
Yeah, I think guys like you, man, the new generation fighter that's going to change the fight game for all the fighters.
Evolve the
for,
fight game.
You know, time to come. You know what I mean? It's still relatively new MMA. You know what I mean? It wasn't that long ago. I was watching like fucking Dan Severn and shit. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, wrestling
you know
shoes
what I mean?
indeed.
So, Well, yo, brothers, I mean, I have the two of you guys here. I mean, you guys are...
Yeah, you guys gotta...
officially
When you
my
win the
favorite-
belt, you gotta come back with the
I'm
belt.
back with the
But
belt.
you
I'm
guys
back with the
said
belt
right
right
here.
here.
The best
And we're
of
gonna
all
see
the
the check that you
duo.
promised your dad, the $1 million check. We're gonna put it on camera.
Yeah.
Right there.
Manifesting
We'll put
it.
both of them.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
Side by side.
You can't even read his writing.
So,
Yeah,
thank y'all.
I hope you win it, man. for
Yeah,
the
we'll
two
be
of you
there,
guys,
man.
you
We'll be
know.
there. It's gonna
For
be
sure,
here in
rooting for you,
LA.
man.
We'll be there. We'll be rooting for you guys.
It's gonna be a fun
Excited
one.
to see you guys raise
Respect.
that
Thanks
belt.
for jumping on.
Thank you so much
Yeah.
for jumping on. You guys gotta come
Thank you,
back
brother.
again, man. We can
Thank you for
go.
having me.
We can go hours together, man.
Agreed.
Laughing.
Oh, yeah, man.
Agreed. This is a walking comedy show.
Yes,
right
sir.
here.
Yeah,
We gotta
it's
have you guys
awesome, man.
All
back for
truth,
sure.
man. All truth and spirituality.
Yeah.
I don't believe in religion. I believe in love, man. You know how powerful love is.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Love is so powerful, man.
I know.
I'm
I'm
telling you.
trying to get me
Real
some,
love.
man.
You
Trying to get
can.
me some. No, I got a kid. That's my love. But
That's
I
your love.
got more love. I got a lot of love.
You got some
I
more
could
love to
always
give?
use more love, but I got some love.
You got some more love to give? You got some more love to give, bro?
You can't max out on money or love.
There you go.
Hey,
So-
Wise
AJ,
words. Wise
my man.
words.
Thanks for having me.
Antonio,
Oh, likewise,
appreciate
brother.
you.
Wise words.
Thank you
Is
guys.
it time for us to go?
Future featherweight champion of the world, AJ McKee. All right.
All right.
Thank you.
Anytime. Thanks.